Hello everyone, I'd like to welcome you to the presentation, Social Media Marketing for Small Businesses. I'm excited to share some great social media tips with you, and I hope you find this content helpful to your social media efforts. First, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Tiffany Cox. I'm a graphic designer, web developer, and social media manager. My favorite thing about my job is helping small businesses grow and become successful with their marketing efforts. If you would like to learn more about me, you can visit my social links or my website, which are shown on the screen, and will also be available in the description below. So let's get started. By now, you either have started your own social networks and are just looking for some helpful tips, but some of you might be wondering, what's the point of social media? Hopefully, I can shed some light on why social media has become so important to growing your business. Social media is an instant way to connect with your customers to help them become invested in your brand. Young people especially are turning to social media as a way to get to know a brand. People are becoming more invested in the company's culture and causes that are important to them. Social media is a great way to share your brand culture and help your customers become your own personal marketing team. This can also correlate to the second point. It is a way to reach new customers that may not have found your brand any other way. People love to spread the word about a product they love to their friends and family. Social media is a great outlet for people to spread the word about your amazing products or services. It's also an easy way to advertise new products or information to your followers. You can use social media networks to let your customers know about new products or awesome things going on in your company. You can also use Facebook and Twitter's paid advertising platforms to gain visibility to new customers. Now that you have a pretty good idea of why social media is important, let's talk about getting your pages set up. Don't leave the About or Bio sections of your profile blank. You want to make sure your profile looks established and complete to build credibility. Use an exciting and compelling short bio, and use hashtags to target social media search engines. This short bio should draw someone in who might be interested in your product or service. And of course, make sure all of your contact information is up to date so your customers can get in touch with you. Now let's talk about my favorite part, design. Use consistent artworks on all of your networks. Never leave the cover photo or default photo area blank, again so your profiles look credible. You can also use the cover photo area as a way to advertise special promotions or events. So use this feature to your advantage, as it is the first thing someone will see on your page. And if you are wondering what size to make your cover photos, I've included a link in the description to this ultimate guide for cover photo sizes. Next is content, which is definitely the most important aspect to your profile. And if you are wondering, what in the world should I post, you are definitely not alone. So let's talk about what kinds of content to start posting about. When creating content, you should always be thinking about quality over quantity. You want to be engaging with your audience often, but you want to be giving them content that they are going to find insightful and useful. You can use a variety of content to get your viewers engaged. Post informational materials such as ebooks, white papers, or videos to educate your customers on your products. You want to show them that you are a knowledge leader in your industry to create a trustworthy brand. You can also post information about products you wish to promote and sell more of to get your audience engaged. Also, video is a powerful tool when it comes to today's marketing, and typically gets quite a lot of engagement. Create a YouTube channel to showcase your products or knowledge. Use the tagging system and make sure to write an accurate description on each video so your video will show up higher in YouTube's search results. My number one tip is to keep it interesting. In social media, you don't even have half a second to capture someone's attention as they are scrolling through their newsfeed. Create interesting headlines about your products. Use visuals such as photos or graphics to grab their attention. Also, engage with your audience by using hashtags or even ask a conversation starting question. Remember that most of us are being bombarded with advertising, so don't be too salesy with your content. You don't always want to be posting about specials and promotions. So my rule of thumb is 1 piece of sales content to every 7 pieces of educational content. That way, you are engaging with your audience on a more intellectual level rather than reciting a sales pitch. Also, remember that some networks allow for only certain types of content. For example, Instagram only allows for images and short videos, and Twitter limits your character count to only 140 characters. Make sure to only create profiles in networks you know your business will use. There's nothing worse than having a profile that has no content on it or very old content. The cool thing about social media truly is the social aspect of it. It allows you to engage with your customers better than you ever have before. Using social media, you can reach an audience that might not be reachable through other methods of marketing. You can also help your social media reach by engaging with other people and businesses by liking, sharing, or retweeting their posts. You might find an article someone shared to be interesting and insightful to your customers, so you basically thank that person by sharing their post with your following. In return, they might engage more with your content by sharing it to their network. You can also gain more followers in this way. When you engage with people, they will most likely engage back. If you follow someone who you find interesting, they might follow you back. But be sure not to follow everyone just to gain followers, as this is not a good way to get followers that will actually engage with your posts. And it is also against most networks' terms of service. You can also engage with people by asking a question which someone might respond to. These questions could be something as simple as, "What do you think of this new product?" Or, "Did you know?" It can be a great conversation starter for your audience. Now, I know you're probably really busy with your business, and by now you're probably wondering, how can you possibly have enough time for this? The cool thing about social media is you can automate most of the process, so you can focus on the most important part, which is engaging with your customers. Here's how you can save yourself some time. Don't overstrain yourself. Remember what I said before. Quality over quantity. You want to make sure you post often, but not if the content isn't good. Focus most of your time on creating great content and engaging posts, and maybe you can get yourself on a schedule that works for you. If every day is too much, maybe post every other day, or even twice a week. Just make sure to be consistent. You don't want to post a ton of content and then not post anything for months. Also, make sure you only have profiles that you can easily manage. If having a Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Google+, LinkedIn, the list goes on, is too much for you to keep up with, just focus on your favorite networks. Use automation tools that allow you to schedule your posts in advance on all your networks all at the same time. You can use Buffer, Hootsuite, and Mav Social, just to name a few. I will be going over these in more detail next. But if all else fails and you simply don't have enough time to keep up with it, hire a social media manager like myself. We can help you create content, find imagery, schedule posts, and even engage with your audience on your behalf. Now I'm going to show you guys how easy it is to use one of my favorite social media tools called Buffer. Here we are in Buffer. Buffer is a powerful tool to help you schedule your posts in advance and share other content you find on the web. It comes with 4 standard platforms: Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Google+. You can upgrade to their paid version for Pinterest and some other features. Buffer is extremely easy to use. You'll just sign up and set up your profiles in the sign-up process, and you'll get to this screen. Once you get to this screen, all you have to do is click on what do you want to share. So now that you have that open, you literally just type in what you want to share, and you can choose which platforms to share it to. Say if I wanted to only share it to my Facebook page, I can just unclick all the other platforms. Then I can add a photo or video, and then I can add this to the queue, which on setup you'll create a schedule and it will add it to the queue of the schedule. You can also click on this arrow to the right of it and you'll get share next, which will share it after the last post that you've had scheduled. And you can share it now, which will immediately post it to your networks. And then you can also schedule the post, which will allow you to choose the date and time you wish to schedule your post. Buffer also has some great other tools, such as analytics. They give you basic analytics for free. And then if you want to get more powerful analytics, you can upgrade to their paid version. Buffer also has an awesome Google Chrome extension. So if you are on any article or page or anything, if you are on Facebook or Twitter, it will give you this extra button so that you can share other people's posts to your networks. So if you click on this button, it will pull the article information and the image. It will allow you to share it to all of your other networks.
Hi, I'm Hélène Patry, president of the NEPW Phoenix chapter.
And I'm Tiffany Cox. I'm a graphic designer, web developer, and social media manager.
And today we're talking about social media for your small business because it's something that we all know we need to do. And as Tiffany's very wonderful video just showed you, there are a couple of things that you need to know in order to get started and some gotchas that you want to avoid.
Yep.
So Tiffany, what is the most common mistake that somebody makes when they're starting on a social media campaign?
Typically overwhelming themselves by signing up for every single social network that's out there because there's so many. There's just so many options. But I usually try to rein them in. Just focus on a few, maybe Facebook, Twitter, and Google+, just to start out. And then also being inconsistent. So posting a lot and then not posting and then posting and then not. So just keeping that consistency and creating new content.
Okay, and you showed us in the video how something like Buffer or Hootsuite can actually help you tame that inconsistency because you can just pour them all in when you have all kinds of ideas and it will fill the gaps as the time progresses that you can't think of a thing to say.
Yeah, exactly. So you can come up with a bunch of content at the beginning of the month and then schedule it out throughout the whole month and not worry about it until the next month rolls around or whenever you have ideas. So
exactly.
Yeah.
And like you said too, if you don't have ideas, you can either reshare somebody else's post or hire someone to try to manage the content load.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
every other day it's still a lot of posting.
Yeah, it's a lot, yeah. So usually when I start out with people, I'll try to do twice a week at least because that's only like 8 posts a month. So if you come up with 8 posts and you just schedule them out and then just keep consistent, and then as you get more ideas, you can, up your count per week. So it gets a lot easier as you kind of practice.
Okay. And then how do people maintain it? Do people actually sometimes repost the same content? Because I heard that there are different layers or levels of reposting that Facebook does. It doesn't necessarily show all your posts or all your contacts.
Yeah, exactly. So
can you
sometimes,
talk more about that?
Yeah, people will miss the post like as they're going through their newsfeed, or like you said, Facebook won't even share it to their newsfeed, which is unfortunate, but it happens. They'd rather you use their paid version. But you can repost your old posts. If they had like low engagement or low view count, you can repost those posts and see if it does it any better.
Okay. And I also heard somewhere that I read is that if you use only text, it's got like a 6% posting ratio. In other words, Facebook, if you have 100 people that following you, it will only show your post to 6 people. Whereas if you have a graphic, an image, it'll post to 17%. But if you have a native video, which is different than a YouTube link, if you post the video directly into Facebook, then it's like 34% that it's going to, or whatever the number happens to be.
Yeah, I don't know the exact numbers, but you're exactly right. So if you just post text, usually I've seen that there's a lot less view count. So if you add a photo, it'll get more impressions. And then also they're trying to promote their video platform. They're trying to beat out YouTube. So that's why
Exactly.
they're promoting you to like take your video from YouTube and put it on your Facebook page. And a lot of even YouTubers will post like snippets of their videos on Facebook to get you kind of interested, and then link off to YouTube so that you'll actually watch the paid version because they monetize their channel.
Right. Okay. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so YouTube has advertising. I mean, if you've gone on a YouTube video and you've watched a commercial before the video, that person that owns that channel will get a cut of that advertising revenue. So you can actually go into your YouTube settings and sign up for their monetized version and make a tiny bit of money off your videos. But if you go viral, you could make a lot of money. A lot of people make a living off of it.
Oh, interesting. And
Yeah.
is this the kind of thing where you can actually control which videos can be monetized? Like in some cases, it's an educational video and it's very specific or whatever the case may be. And you don't want an ad in front of it because
Yeah.
it would dilute what it is that you're trying to sell.
Yeah.
How do you manage that?
Yeah, every time you upload, they give you settings, and you can
Okay.
choose to turn the monetization off.
Okay.
So you can tell them not to put ads on your videos.
Okay, and the ads, is it the kind, do you have a choice between the 2-minute ad before your video or the bar at the bottom of your video? Is that how it works?
Yeah, you can go into your monetization settings, and you can
Okay.
change what kinds of ads that you would like shown. So you can choose if you want a video played before, or if you would rather have the banners. So
Okay.
yeah, you can choose.
Okay, all right, that sounds good. Do you get to choose what kind of category of ads that go with you?
Usually not.
Oh, interesting.
So yeah, it kind of, if you've ever heard of retargeting ads, Facebook and YouTube kind of follow you around the internet. So if you search for
Oh,
something,
yes, that's really annoying.
yes. So yeah, I know a lot of people are kind of concerned about that. But what it is people have put tracking codes into their
Right.
websites
Right.
to kind of engage people back. It's like, oh, you visited my website, come back,
Yes.
buy that thing that you were looking at. So yeah, when you're logged into your Facebook profile, Facebook will follow you around the internet. So that's how they come up with your ads. So
And you make money off a monetized video only if somebody clicks on it.
usually, if it's the video ads, they have to just watch the whole ad.
Oh, okay.
So you will get a little bit just because
Okay.
it was shown to them.
Okay.
And they don't tell you the exact thing. It's just kind of like you see your channel, you see your analytics, and it's like estimated earnings. It doesn't tell you exactly how, like what ad was shown or anything like that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, what a
Yeah.
lottery. Okay, so let's go back to something that you and I were talking about before we started the camera, then I realized we should be filming this. In the video that you showed, you were using Buffer.
Yes.
And I personally didn't even realize until I saw you demonstrate that you could have a free post scheduler.
Yeah. Yeah. Buffer is completely free unless you want to add Pinterest or their analytics. And it has some seriously powerful tools, especially their Google Chrome extension, because you can go onto any article page and click on that button and get like, it even pre-makes a post for you, so you don't have to write it all out. It'll grab the image and all that good stuff for you. So you can schedule it from right there.
Okay, that's excellent. Well, here's a technical question for you. I'm cheating because I have a problem that I ended up having to pay for to get the workaround.
Uh-oh.
When I created my own website, I created my little video. This is my first use of this camera. And I posted it on YouTube, and then I made a link from my, you know how you do it, from your website with HTML and CSS, the whole thing, into the video on YouTube. And at the end, it posts all kinds of, the next kind of thing that you can see and that you can watch.
Yeah.
So I didn't want that. I didn't want the person watching my 2-minute video and then having this whole
suggested
mosaic
Yeah.
of other videos that they could move on to. So there is a command to prevent that from happening. It wasn't working. So I ended up going to Vimeo, paying for their service.
Yeah.
And then when the video ends, it just ends. And they do like rewind, which is a really weird concept when you first see it on
Yeah.
video, but it just means it puts it back at the beginning of the video. Is there a way of doing that without having to pay?
I think there is. I'd have to check.
Okay.
But I think in your YouTube settings you can prevent the suggested videos, because now they have like, instead of suggested videos as the mosaic, it's like the next video. And so I think when you
Okay.
embed now, it doesn't even do that.
Okay.
Because I think they probably got complaints about that too.
So it's a question of trying it again.
Yeah,
Well-
because they change their stuff all the time.
Oh, okay.
So even Vimeo could start doing that, and even if you paid for Vimeo, if they decided they wanted to put suggested videos on there, I mean, you're kind of at the mercy of whatever they decide to do. So yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah,
All right. Well, I have to keep that in mind before it automatically renews. So, Tiffany, if you mentioned the different Instagram and Facebook and Google Plus. Do a lot of people use Google Plus?
Not for the social aspect, no.
Okay.
But it's great for SEO if you have your own website to
Okay.
post regularly on your Google Plus page.
Oh.
So they like it when you're active on their social network. So they're going to reward you for that.
That's brilliant.
And also, if you do have like a website with a physical location, even if you don't, if you have like a service area, it's really great to have a Google Plus page just to have that like local search.
Okay.
So that if somebody's searching for that service and you're not so great at like your organic like search results, like if you haven't really done SEO on your website,
Right.
that Google Plus page will still get you onto like the local search results. So if someone's in your area, they'll see that on the map.
Okay.
Because Google will show the map first nowadays. So.
Okay. Well, that's great. And in terms of Instagram and Pinterest, I mean, to me, because I've never used them, there are two places where you can post pictures and share. How do you make them valuable for you in your business?
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes it doesn't fit with your business. So it kind of depends on what industry you're in. If you're in the kind of industry where you'd post a lot of pictures, Instagram is great because Instagram is just pictures. So, and same with Pinterest. Like, if you have an industry that doesn't take any pictures of anything, like if you're a doctor or, you know, a lawyer or something, like Instagram might not be the best network to go with just because you're not going to have a lot of content to post.
Okay.
So I would always choose networks that kind of fit your business and
Okay.
what kind of content you'll end up having.
Okay. All right. And how do people then find you if you're posting on Instagram, for example? Are you then connecting the picture to your website, or how does that work?
You can actually put your Instagram feed on your website.
Oh, okay.
So people can find it that way, but also if you add a description to your image, then it'll show up in like search results when people are looking through Instagram to find new stuff. And yeah, so you always want to add that description so that people can find the image.
Good idea.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say you wanted to start a YouTube channel. You have all of this content and you know that video is the way to go because that's what engages people the most.
Mm-hmm.
What kinds of videos? I mean, you've just shown us an 11-minute video that was very engaging and very professionally put together.
Yeah.
What other kinds of videos do you think have the most retention of people? Because like you said earlier, you have about half a second of their attention span before they decide to click onto something else.
Yeah, yeah.
So what kind of video would you suggest for a small business is going to be the one that will grab their attention?
Yeah, so something that teaches something. So you have to kind of grab their attention by the topic in general. But if you've already grabbed them with the topic, they obviously want to learn something. So just keeping it kind of a faster pace. Don't go too slow because then they'll be like, oh my gosh, this is taking too long. So they'll click off because they're bored. So you have to keep them engaged. You have to keep teaching them something throughout the video, and maybe even keeping the video shorter would be the best option. But yeah, teach them something about your product, or like if you are a construction worker, teaching something interesting about construction, or just whatever works for your industry. It just has to be kind of interesting for someone who's searching for that.
Do you have an optimal length of the video?
For younger people, honestly, I'd keep it under like 5-6 minutes.
Okay.
For people who are really trying to learn about a topic, you can go longer. You could go like 10-15 minutes. But yeah, it has to be really interesting if you go any longer than that.
Okay. YouTube used to have a limit of 10 minutes, only so that their servers wouldn't get blown away.
Yeah.
But that doesn't appear to exist anymore.
No, they don't have a limit anymore.
Okay. So you can post as much as you want for as long as you want.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
So that's pretty awesome because it used to be like a 15-minute limit, and if you went longer than that, you'd have to post another video, part 2 or whatever. So, yeah.
Okay, when somebody follows you on something like a YouTube, then they get advice or they get alerted every time you post something new, correct? Or
Yes.
is that within a particular category?
Yeah, they get, if they subscribe to you on your channel, they will get, in their subscriptions, they'll get all of their subscriptions, and so you'll be in that list. And also, YouTube has a new feature. If you have the YouTube app on your phone, when you upload a video, you can tell it to give them an alert. So it'll actually go to their phone that you've posted a new video.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And you have to have the app yourself.
No, you don't have to
Oh,
have the app
sorry.
for yourself,
Okay.
but the person that subscribed has to have the app
Okay.
on their phone.
All right. And do they then select themselves if they want these alerts or not? Because I know that in the YouTube general on the website, you
Yeah.
can say, yes, it's on, I'm subscribed, but I don't want to get an alert every time there's a new video.
Yeah, they can turn off the
Okay.
alerts.
All right.
So,
Okay, so we're not going to overload them or anything.
yeah, no. They have the option to opt out of alerts if they want to. So they
Okay.
can just go into their settings and change that.
But the big difference between having them sign up for your newsletter, for example, is that when you're on YouTube, you don't really know who it is, do you? Who has registered for your channel?
Well, you get their like username.
Okay.
So you might not know who they are based off their username,
Okay.
but if they put their first and last name as their username and they put a picture, you might know who they are. But yeah, YouTube's a little bit more private
Okay.
that way.
So you can't email them. The only way you can have an email going to them is by posting another video.
Yeah, well, they actually have a messaging system in YouTube, so you can message them.
Okay.
But yeah, like I don't know how often people check that though, because it's not like really popular. But you can message them on YouTube.
Interesting. So Facebook is trying to go into the YouTube world, and YouTube is trying to grab some of the Facebook world.
Yeah, they're kind of merging together, and hopefully, I think Facebook should start monetizing their videos as well, just so that people can get a little bit back from, giving them that content. But
Right.
yeah.
Right. Well, I do like the fact that Facebook has this autoplay feature.
Yeah.
Because for some crazy reason it engages you even more
Yeah,
to
because
want
you're
to
already
watch.
kind of watching.
Yes,
You're like, oh wait, what's that?
Exactly. Not that I go on Facebook all that much, but when I do, I do find the videos catch my eye a lot more than anything else.
Yeah.
In terms of a completely different angle, not really known as social media, but we talked about monetizing. So if you have a website and you want to monetize your website and get Google ads, for example, how do you actually do that? You're not buying an ad, you're presenting a space for somebody to put their own ad on your...
Yeah, so if you have a blog, or even if you wanted to put it on your regular website, which I don't recommend doing because it looks a little bit unprofessional, but
Okay.
with a blog, by all means, you can sign up for a Google AdSense account, and
Okay.
you go through the sign-up process, and they give you a code to put into your website or your blog, and you can just paste that code into your website, and it will show the ad wherever you pasted that code.
And you get to select the size and the placement of where
I
it
believe
is.
they have 2 different sizes. So
Okay.
they have like the bottom and top
Okay.
ads that are like long, and then they have a square one
Right.
that goes like in a corner or something.
Right. Great. So now, just to come back to something you said earlier, these social media sites are updating their platforms all the time.
Yeah.
How do you stay on top of that?
Really, it's just kind of figuring it out as it goes, just researching it, and a lot of times like that'll be big news. Like
Okay.
Facebook just released their the reactions. Instead of just liking, you can react to a post. So you can if it's funny, you can do the laughing face, or if you love it, you can do a heart, or if it's sad, there's like a tear one. So yeah, they just added that feature.
Emoticons
Yeah, the
on the thing,
emoticons
okay.
instead of just liking, so people
Okay.
can react to the posts now, and that was big news. So I was like, it was everywhere. Facebook, like everybody was posting on Facebook. Look, we can react to it now. So it gets out there pretty easily.
Is this something that you would be willing to have in terms of a newsletter, for example, providing tips and techniques that pertain to, okay, these are new features, and pay attention to that because this is how it affects something that you've already done, or if this is an opportunity for you?
Yeah, typically, actually, I don't do like an email newsletter, but anytime something new on social media kind of comes up that I find interesting, I'll post it on my social media. So
there you go. So
yeah.
we need to follow you then.
Yeah, so follow me on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn, and
Okay.
I post everything on there. So
Excellent. What
Yeah.
a great idea.
Yeah.
And do you post stuff from LinkedIn just on LinkedIn, or do you announce it in Facebook as well?
I usually put everything everywhere.
Perfect.
So if you follow me on one, you'll probably get everything.
So you use your buffer account quite extensively
Yes,
then.
I do. I'm like, share it everywhere.
Good idea. Well, I think you have a lot of good content to share, so I will be definitely following you and learning from Tiffany Cox as we go along.
I'd like to thank you all for taking the time to watch this video, and I hope you found it to be helpful. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments section below, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.